Thank you for joining me. Welcome or welcome back to Kimbo's Crafts. I'm Kimbo, and this is my channel where I discuss all things crafts, supplies, how to do it, all those things. I will be posting a video every week, so please continue to tune in if you don't already, and just to keep up on everything going on. This video, I will be going over paper. Funny enough, in my day job, I'm actually a journeyman carpenter. I've been alluding to that a little bit here and there. It's a pretty awesome thing. So I know a little about, actually I know a lot about wood. And through my even more extensive experience doing scrapbooking and other paper crafts, I feel like I know even more about paper, which hopefully, well, or not maybe too hopefully, is related to wood. Today, I want to go over my thoughts on 3 different cardstock companies that are making cardstock mostly for scrapbooking and card making. And I've already given some ideas on some of them, but I felt like I would go a little bit more in depth, give you an idea of what cardstock is and its uses and the different kinds you can find out there, price points, those sorts of things. So this here is, just to start off, the American Crafts DCWV brand. Now, as I mentioned in an earlier, actually probably more than once in these other videos, this is my favorite brand to use, mostly because, as I said, it feels thicker, and I looked into it getting ready for this video, and it is because it is thicker than most on the market, but it is also at a higher price point. So I still have a lot of these paper pads in storage, ready to go. I've delved into them for different projects here and there. They are timeless. In fact, some of them that I have paper pads of, they're still in print, making the same designs that I've had for what feels like a decade. So they are a great brand for that reason. This is a premium stack. This is actually what's left of the stack that I have been using for the Evolution project. I'm quite far along in it, so if you want to go look at my other channels, you'll see me using this paper. Now, they have a variety of different sizes and different types of paper out there. The stacks that I like to get have the most variety, and they're always 12 by 12, mostly because that is the standard scrapbooking size. So they just easily go into most standard scrapbooks, but also I can cut them down into the sizes I need. And also they're just ready to go is the best way to put it. So this is a premium stack. It says here it's got 12 sheets of pearl foil. Each of their premium stacks have 12 sheets of some sort of foil. So gold, silver, this says pearl. So you will get some foil in there, but you'll also get some matte pages. They're always double-sided and often duplicates. I think every single one of these stacks on the market, you'll have 2 copies of each designed page available in these. And you'll see as we go along, they have different amounts of sheets in them, and that's probably mostly due to the weight and cost point for each of the pads. So this is American Crafts DCWV. Like I said, it retails at Michael's, where I do most of my shopping, actually, for about $25. Of course, you can get it on sale for other prices. I'm sure you can find it on Amazon. I know you can find it on Joann's, probably for cheaper. And they don't, as far as I'm aware, carry them in stock in Michael's, but you can get them shipped. And obviously through Amazon, you could get them shipped. I haven't checked Joann's. My local Joann's doesn't have as much paper crafting supplies as Michael's, so I do prefer to go to Michael's, but I know they often have similar products. Now, talking about paper weights, so there's 2 different ways to measure paper weights. There's pounds per 500 sheets, which is the most common in America way of doing it. And then there's grams per square meter, which is the weight per sheet, shorthanded into GSMs. I think that's more European. If you look for paperweight on American stores, you'll often find it in pounds. And what they're referring to is if you have 500 sheets. So when I say that this stack, which is much thinner now than it was, is rated at 80 pounds, that means if I had 500 of these, it would be 80 pounds. So at 80 pounds, each sheet is 260 GSM. That means it is on the thicker side, not the thinnest on the market, just something I had alluded to in my other videos. Because of that, this has 36 sheets. 12 of them are foil, so that's about 24, fun to do math on the fly, 24 matte pages. And as I mentioned, you can, in my other video, you can tell it's very stiff paper. Another thing to keep in mind is the different textures. Now, the different textures allude to the different finish. So some cardstocks can be fed through a printer. When I say it's matte, it's because it is truly matte. There's no gloss to it. It would accept ink on a printer really well in case you wanted to use it for card printing, menu making, anything else. You could also print directly on it for a scrapbook page. On the foils, this is another thing that they often has, is these tags that you can cut out. It's just a nice little bonus feature. On the foils, which I might have picked most out for my project now, they have a glossy finish, which make them, I think I did pick them out, make them not very good at printing on, but they make really nice backgrounds. So I do think this is premium, the word being premium there. You will get a stiffer page. That means that you could put paint on it and it wouldn't warp the paper so much. It just makes it more resistant. If you were going to use this for an origami kind of project, it will take a harder time to bend it, but it will last longer and take more of a wear and tear to it. Now this one is the Recollections brand. Recollections, I think it's at all of the different companies, or it's just at Michael's. I know that you can get it on Amazon. It is a very low price point option that's been around for years as well. It's been the competitor to DCWV. I don't often use it, even though it is the more readily available option, because I can tell just from feeling it that it is on the thinner side. To give you an idea, this is 58 sheets, again, the same size. And while that gives you a thicker, more amount of the pages, when I look it up online to find, it is 65 pounds. So that puts it at 176 GSM. That means it's on the thinner end, pretty much just at the bottom of being cardstock. So it is not as sturdy. It doesn't accept as much, excuse me there, doesn't accept as much liquids, and it would be easier to fold, but it's just not as hardy. That being said, it is on the cheaper price point. You can get it at about $15, Amazon and Michael's. I think it's $20, not on sale at Michael's, either way. But you can run out and pick this up today. Most Michael's, they keep it in stock so you don't have to get it shipped. And they do have fun different prints. And they also have foils on theirs. So this also says that it has 2 sheets of each design. It kind of got ripped off when I removed the tape closing the paper pad. And it's got 29 design motifs. Some of them are foils. I haven't used this pad yet, so we can go ahead and look at them. They're all going to be here. I'm not seeing very many foils. Oh, this one has a foiling to it. It is slightly glossy, but I do think that it would accept printer ink if you were to print on it. However, texture-wise, it's very smooth. So the ink would not readily set in very well, I don't think, compared to the DCWV, which I know from using it, it actually has like a rough texture to it, which I think makes it more appealing for being able to stick things to. But there are times when smooth is nice. Like I said, this is not a bad option. I'll definitely use it. It's just not as premium, but the price point's okay. What I find the most exciting is what I recently saw in stock at Michael's, and that is a strong competitor to these Recollections. And the reason I say it's a strong competitor is because it's actually the same weight when I look it up. It is also 66 pounds actually, so 180 GSM, but the same level, just on the bottom end of cardstock. These sheets come with 48 sheets, so you do get 10 less sheets, but even though it's 10 less, you will pay $5 if you were to go to Michael's right now. These are being sold for $5. They are $10 regularly. Everything is always on sale at Michael's, it seems anyway, so I imagine it'll be $5 here and for a long time later. But it's the same quality, and so I think this is a better buy. As you can see, it also has the same foiling and matte pages. Let's look here. If I were to, you can tell from the flick of the paper that it's just not as thick as the DCW. If that doesn't matter to you or your project, it's still good enough to be cardstock. If you're not painting on it or adding anything like glitter glue, it's still good enough. It is a very smooth texture with the foil pages. I'm not sure how it would accept printer ink, but to me, looking at it, oh, here you go. Here's your, this doesn't just have tags. This has frames and ribbon kind of things that you could cut out to use in your scrapbook layouts, which was very neat. That was not something I actually saw in the Recollections paper pad. Oh, here you go. That's beautiful. It's very Bridgerton too, so that's on theme for the month. Okay, so something else to mention, all of these 3 different products that I mentioned are all acid-free, which is something you want to use for your scrapbooking. Acid-free, again, helps you with your preservation of your ephemera and your printed photos. So that's important to know. These are, as I mentioned, in price point, premium, mid, and very budget friendly. I actually am very excited to use the Bloomsbury for the price point on the Recollections. I never went ahead and bought it because for not too much more in my mind, I would get higher quality paper from the DCWV. So I would just stock up on those and really never use Recollections too often because, like I said, the texture wasn't very high for me and it's just not sturdy enough for my use. I think though, since you're able to grab 48 sheet paper pads from Craftsmith at I believe you could probably find it on Amazon at Joann's, but I definitely know that you can get it at Michael's because that's where I got this. The fact that I paid $5 for this is just, it knocks the other 2 out of the park, really. And I'm very excited to use it in one of our future projects here on my channel. So please stay tuned. Oh, and in a parting note, I kept trying to think of ways that I could bring up paper jokes, you know, because I thought that would be more entertaining, because who wants to watch a review about paper, right? But every time I thought about a paper joke, I just couldn't come to it because it was terrible. All right. Again, this is Kimbo's Crafts. Thank you for joining me. I will be posting a video every week going over products, supplies, techniques, those sorts of things. So stay tuned. A little while later, actually next week, will be another evolution project. We're really close to the end, so stay tuned. Thank you. Bye.